Welcome once again to Inside LAFC podcast, joining you from sunny Alhambra here at LAFC's Performance Center. We got a great show here. It's Max and Katia. Katia, how was your birthday?
It was great.
Did you get out there, spend some time with the friends?
Yes. I worked. I did the podcast here. So it started with a bang. And then I got to hang out with family and friends, dance. So I'm happy with that, of course.
And all the friends got to have those donuts that Alonso gave you as a present
Thank
there.
you
So
to
we
the
appreciate
LAFC
that.
team. They were really good.
They are. They're the best. We got a great show. We're going to look back at Leagues Cup, not just with LAFC, what they took out of that experience, what the Leagues Cup has been looking like for Major League Soccer, and we get ready for MLS season. There's a lot of big games coming up. It begins Sunday with the Colorado Rapids. We'll have that all covered.
We have a special guest. I feel like we should have brought tapas, tinto de verano, sangria, just like some hints of what's coming up next.
Okay, we spoke to him, and he said, Mario Gonzalez, just so you're in case you're wondering, we asked him we told him about the great LA cuisine. He goes, I live in Spain, man. I know about good food.
He's like,
we'll see how it is in a few months.
Yes, but I mean, we could have done that, and it was good.
Yes.
Since we're talking about donuts.
We talk about food here a lot.
And
this is our time.
Tinto de verano.
Football and food. That's what we talk about. Inside LAFC podcast starts right now. Joining you from the LAFC Performance Center here in scorching Alhambra. I know, but we also have a possible hurricane coming, so it could cool off in a little bit, or tropical depression. So be careful. Check the weather reports before you do anything. Welcome into Inside LAFC podcast. Katia Castorena, Max Bretos. I'm going to nail your last name here. I don't know why.
It keeps giving you
Castorena.
problems.
Yes, I used to say it differently for the record, so you know, and I got reprimanded. Katia laid it in there, so we've got it fixed. But hey, Leagues Cup, it's coming, it's gone. It was a fun ride. 3 games, 2 games against Liga MX opponents, 13 goals. We got to reconnect with the city. All the games were at home. 2 games at BMO Stadium, 1 game at the Rose Bowl. You always want to go further, but looking back, there's positives there that you can take away from that first Leagues Cup experience.
Definitely positives. We're going to be like Steve Cherundolo when he says that he always likes to look at the bright side and look at the positives. And I agree with that mentality and that mindset. Looking at the positives, definitely. We were talking about how exhausted and fatigued the team was before the All-Star break. And now we got to see them after the break with that refreshed energy, a new perspective. And
we did.
Right off the bat, that game against Juarez, so many goals, seeing the spark, seeing the connection. So I think those are positives that can definitely, carry on and keep on building for the remainder of the regular season. So those games, even though the team, of course, wanted to advance, like they've said, it's not just a cliche speech that they want to win every tournament that they participate in. It's true, and they wanted to win, and they were serious since the get-go. We saw it in that game that they wanted to win. At the end of the day, it's football. Things happen. They couldn't advance.
We were having that discussion. Do you go after that third goal? Do you be a little bit more conservative there at the end? I always say go for the third goal.
Yes, it's a style of play.
But we had a big debate about it.
It's a style of play for this team. They like to go forward. MLS teams in general, and we heard Liga MX teams being surprised about that, and they enjoyed the competition because it's a different style, because they're used to maybe playing a little bit slower, defending more, and in MLS it's more about going forward, the show, the goals. So seeing those matchups was also exciting for the Mexican team. Some of the players talked about it. Some of the Monterrey players talked about it. Like after that match, Hector Moreno was saying it was really good for us too to go against that style and to see those things. So as we were saying, it's part of LAFC's DNA. They go for that third goal. Of course, like you learn. You have to be smart as well of knowing how to manage the different moments within the game. But I think at the end of the day, you win with goals, and you always want to get as many goals as possible.
Yeah, you certainly learn from that Monterrey experience. That's a club that most teams in this region would strive to be like, and you learn about what to do, and you put it in the memory banks. But now you got to try and find a way to get into CONCACAF Champions Cup moving forward, which we'll talk about here as the return to MLS. You also look to get all those goals in sight, because all those good things that happen. And it's interesting you say that about the Liga MX experience, because everyone's saying, well, if the games were in Mexico, but wherever the games were held, you can see the gap is not as maybe as big as people thought, and to have a Leagues Cup, it's going to be competitive. I enjoyed it. Every game there was a couple blowouts, very few. Most people thought that a lot of these games wouldn't be well attended. Not the case at all, and that was in large part to some of the Liga MX supporters. I saw a game between the Colorado Rapids and Toluca that was delayed 2 hours, and there were still fans there. So I was like, the Leagues Cup has got people excited, and you also have this really interesting. We talk about the two leagues. You have an all MLS final, Inter Miami. It's MLS/Messi versus MLS. Who do you think is going to win? By the way, do you have a pick?
Miami. I do think even though they're going to have to play away, they're going to Nashville. The fans are going to be very intense. Nashville is a different team, maybe than what they
playing in
faced.
Nashville? I think they're playing in Miami.
No, they're playing in Nashville. Okay. So it's a maybe different team of what they face. They have a good defense. Since the team was built, that's how they build the club, and what we see on the field for Nashville that has given them success, even from like that first season in MLS. So being strong and solid defensively, they have like really tall players that are really good when it comes to set pieces, both defensively and offensively. So those are interesting aspects that I want to see how they're going to plan that game against Miami, trying to, disrupt their game a little bit more, pressure, close those spaces for Messi and company. But I do think they're riding the wave. Miami is riding that wave. They're so excited, and they've been playing well. It's just the reality of things.
I agree with you. You can't go against Inter Miami when they just easily dispatched the Philadelphia Union 4-1 when they didn't even play that well, and Messi wasn't that involved. That's very telling about how far they have come. It's a good lesson way for LAFC because you want to know how to play in a tournament. Inter Miami has done very well in a tournament format. Nashville has done very well in a tournament format. I kind of want Nashville to win because it'll get people talking in this sense. They knocked out America. They knocked out Monterrey, who knocked out LAFC. And if they could knock out Messi, you have to, as far as I can remember, I don't think you could have a tournament as good as that. Certainly in MLS circles. And Gary Smith, who won an MLS Cup with the Rapids in 2010, has to be elevated to one of the greats. So I'm with you. It's going to be Inter Miami, but it's Nashville continue to defy the odds. And by the way, both those teams.
And they do have Hani Mukhtar.
And Walker Zimmerman, who's been, maybe you could argue, best defender of the tournament. You can't say best player of the tournament.
We talk about the MLS MVP, and you see how much he impacts their game, and everything goes through Hani. Just creating those chances, being smart, always a threat. So I think that's been crucial. We were talking about being solid defensively, and of course Walker Zimmerman as that leader is crucial in that part of the field. But when we talk about the creation and the opportunities up front, of course, we have to talk about Hani, his talent. And he's still showing this season that MVP form, trying to win it back-to-back seasons. And
that goal that was disallowed, I mean, that has I love how many things we've got to talk about. VAR, I know I don't want to talk about VAR, but home field advantage.
The officiating hasn't been that great, but we don't want to talk about the officiating.
You can't really, it's not unexpected because you're bringing in MLS officials, Liga MX officials from Central America. That takes a bit. So, I mean, it's still, we got to work on that. By the way, we're here at training, and don't think for a minute that all these guys aren't paying attention to Lionel Messi, because we saw Kellen and we saw Daniel, and we're talking about it. I go, well, why don't they defend it? Everyone's kind of involved in seeing this. This is a big deal, not just for the supporters and the fans and the media. This is a big deal also for everyone here that covers the team as well. We are moving forward. We are talking about Colorado this Sunday and the run-in of the MLS season. And Katia, you cannot think, I know you don't and I know I don't, can't think this is the second half of the season, because it's not. There's 11 games remaining. And LAFC has a lot they can pursue. Supporter Shield, probably not going to happen. They're 14 points behind FC Cincinnati, 11 games. I mean, unless something crazy happens. But what can happen is the Western Conference title. They're 4 points behind St. Louis City. They can have an entry point into the Champions Cup through success here, and obviously win an MLS Cup. They have Campeones Cup in September. So there's a lot to look forward to. And if you take away the second half of Monterrey, those 3 games in the Leagues Cup, those 2.5 games, it's a lot to be excited for. And now you want to pick up that momentum against the Rapids on Sunday.
So we now shift the focus to the remainder of the regular season, those 11 games. And that's the players' mentality. We've had the opportunity to speak to a few of them. And even though it hurt not advancing in the Leagues Cup and that defeat against Monterrey, but they're focused. They are very clear that they have 11 games remaining in the regular season. And now they're just focused on that, trying to keep on building, as we were talking about before, on what they showed during Leagues Cup, what we saw with the team now. These guys that have come in and they can bring great things too once they start getting acclimated, those communication things, having Mario and that striker, that number 9 on offense, what Philippe can do as well. Once we see Oliveira, all of these pieces that definitely bring something important to give that extra push, depth to the team in those games that are left.
Depth should be a real strength for this team. When you mentioned the new players, Carlos Vela should be integrated here again at some point. We'll see if it's for Sunday. He is being evaluated every game. And then we saw Timothy Tillman, we saw Jesus Murillo, we saw Sergi Palencia. And I don't want to say don't disrupt the Monterrey, because even though the Monterrey game could have ended very differently, but look at the Real Salt Lake game. That is a team that was playing as well as anyone in the Western Conference. That is a team that you're going to be competing for to finish first in the West with St. Louis City and maybe FC Dallas. We'll see, but I don't think anyone has those credentials. Even I would say Real Salt Lake would be my number 2 in the West right now. But it was a 4-goal deficit for them. So with everyone back, with a well-rested team, I expect LAFC to have a really good final 11 games. What that means at the end, I hope it means top of the West, because that certainly means something. But nothing is guaranteed. But with LAFC looking ahead, this is it's all set. Everything is in place for them to really seize this opportunity.
I have the calendar here in case you're wondering the opponents for those 11 games. So Colorado up next this Sunday.
We'll talk a little about Colorado, because that's a team that they don't score goals. I think they have 16 goals. They have 2 away wins. One was at the Galaxy.
Last team in the West.
Yes,
in those standings.
They're going to let LAFC play a lot, so LAFC could punish the team. But Colorado is going to be disciplined, and they've gotten LAFC in the past. So just that game would be a great place to jumpstart those final 11 games. Obviously at home, it should happen, but it may be a little harder than you would think. We'll see how the first half is, which LAFC has been better in recent weeks.
Charlotte, you're going to have to travel to Charlotte.
Is that our first trip there, right? Yeah, first trip confirmed.
Then
my brother lives out there. I'd love to make that trip.
The game that the fans are waiting for against Miami here in LA, September 3rd.
That's going to be an LA event. That's good. We'll have Kevin Frazier talking about it on Entertainment Tonight. Entertainment Tonight. I miss Kevin. We got to see him sooner.
Then they're going to Portland, September 9th.
At Portland.
Then we have El Tráfico, September 16th.
That's right. We had 3. That'll be the 4th El Tráfico.
Yes.
Or Clásico Angelino, depending on where you are.
El Derby Angelino.
I like that. You say it makes it good. Other people say it not so much. El Derby Angelino.
St. Louis. In St. Louis.
Should be a fun road trip for the folks to see that venue and have the toasted raviolis, which I recommend.
That week's going to be important because it's a quick turnaround. You have El Tráfico September 16th. So it's high-intensity game. And then St. Louis, as we were saying, you're fighting for that top spot on the West, and it's one of your,
I'm talking about raviolis, and I buried the lead. That could be for first place.
Especially after what happened in that game here at home, like before the MLS All-Star break, when LAFC had a great game and beat St. Louis. So now they're going to visit St. Louis against Philadelphia.
That's a kind of loaded schedule.
That's a loaded schedule. It's complicated because then, of course, you have the rematch of what happened last year in the final. They also they also faced off in CONCACAF.
We remember.
So it's going to be an interesting one too. So that week, intense. We're gonna of course talk more about it once we get there. But those 3 games.
So there's a Charlotte road trip. Charlotte's pretty tricky. Galaxy will be at BMO. At Philadelphia. What was the other? Oh, at Portland.
Yes, Miami, Portland. But
Miami here.
Starting with that rivalry game, because you have Galaxy, then St. Louis, and then Philadelphia. And 2 of those are away.
And I forgot to mention at St. Louis. That should not be a...
Then the last 4, RSL, Minnesota, Austin, and Vancouver. And you have the 2 last games of the season away.
What?
From BMO.
Hey, MLS, what's going on? That never happened before.
Austin,
We'd always get a game.
And then you're going to Vancouver. Just saying.
So, what does that all mean? So, many of you may be aware of this. Many of you are probably hearing it for the first time. But there is a new MLS Cup playoff format. Remember, last year it was tight, abbreviated. There was a bye. If you finish first in the West, you get a bye. It's not really a huge one because there's 9 teams, and then there will be 8 teams in the. This is going to be a long haul for the playoffs. But it's best of 3, so you would have to like LAFC's chances to win one of those homes. So you want to be a top 4 seed. The semifinals, it's a single elimination, but you would higher seeds at home, and then the Western final as well. So there's some extra games in that quarterfinal spot. But I think for LAFC, you want to finish first. When they finished first in the West last year, it ended very well. But there's a lot of soccer ahead here, not just in the regular season, but in the playoffs. So buckle up. So we'll get to see hopefully we'll get to see a lot of each other at BMO Stadium.
It's going to be important to get those 3 points Sunday at home against Colorado. You were talking about what the Rapids have done. It's been a difficult year for sure. We mentioned they're at the bottom of the Western Conference standings. They haven't had the best run. Their president was talking about the 2021 season where they finished first of the West as that model to
LAFC
follow.
Games.
It was a tough game against LAFC in that season. But 2022, 2023 have been difficult. I was reading all the articles of what the locals are saying in Colorado. So it's been tough for them. I believe 20 new players since 2022 till
That
today
sounds
for
about
them.
And they just traded a bunch of guys too, so they're going to look different from the last
traded
time.
guys, key injuries. So definitely has been difficult, but they want to kind of like close the best way possible. It's a long shot for them when it comes to playoffs, but they would just want to feel that you're getting better and try to close the best way possible. So that makes them a dangerous opponent. That's why LAFC has just to be at the top of their game, and it's going to be, as we saw in that calendar, then it's going to be loaded. It's really important, all of those games that you have at home, of the 11 ones that are left in the calendar, that you get all those points starting with this Sunday.
Win at home. And they look great at home the last couple times. The St. Louis game, Juarez game, 7 goals, record. So there's something you can take out of Leagues Cup. We set a record for goals in a game. Until someone changes that. 7 is the record, and then RSL. So they've looked good, so maintain that. And with 9 teams making the playoffs, it's a lot. Colorado still has, as bad as their season has been, a chance, if they can get going in these final games for them, to maybe come in through the back door. That's what they're thinking. And they've brought in some new players as well with the hopes of doing that. So it's not out of the realm of possibility. So there's stuff at stake. Many would say that's a drawback to MLS, that some teams make the playoffs. But now you have a Colorado team that could be just sitting there as a punching bag, for lack of a better expression, with something to play for. And that makes them dangerous. So, I think that makes this game pretty interesting because Colorado can defend. They got those Maxu and Danny Wilson, big, strong defenders. They're good at set pieces, so if you give them a corner kick, and we've seen it before, they can get it. So be confident,
a little something also with Kellen Acosta.
Kellen Acosta, his former team. It's crazy. Kellen's put in his time. He's 28, but he had a long spell at Colorado, had a long spell at FC Dallas, his parent club. So you ready? Ready for Sunday? We might have some bad weather, so check the...
Hopefully Hillary doesn't stop
Hillary.
by.
Hillary is going through
Hillary, please.
Baja California right now.
Please
And
don't
Hillary.
come
Good,
to LA.
and we're thinking about
You're
everyone
not
down
welcomed.
there. Hopefully it softens its blow because hopefully the waters are too cold and it can't do it. But it's out there. That's all the time we have for us right now, but we're going to be right back with an interview. You're going to be really excited to hear Mario Gonzalez, the new striker. We'll get to know about his first game with LAFC. We'll also get to know a little bit about him, where he comes from, and what makes him tick. That is next on Inside LAFC podcast. Rate, review, download, and subscribe, and tell a friend. We're back. Welcome on Inside LAFC podcast. Thrilled to welcome in for the first time Mario Gonzalez, the new striker here for LAFC, who actually got his first game in Leagues Cup. Had to be good to get that under your belt. What was that experience like to get your first minutes for LAFC?
Yeah, it was really, really nice. Obviously, it was not my best game, but
First games are rarely the best games.
Yeah, but it was not my best game. We can say this. That's true. But it was nice. I was waiting for this chance long time ago. So it was good. And finally we didn't win. That was the problem. But we are thinking now in the next game.
Of course, it's really difficult, as you mentioned. You got the start. It's an elimination game. Much is at stake in this competition. But just overall, getting to experience that game, being immersed in what LAFC is trying to do in that style of play, what was that experience like?
Yeah, of course, it was, like you said, a difficult game for me. I felt in that moment during the game that I was not really connected with the team. It's normal, I think. But in the beginning of the game, I was totally ready. I said in the interview before the game, in terms of physical preparation, of course, I'm not at my best level, because we were now in Europe in the pre-season, so it's not the same like here. We are during the season now. But yeah, it was nice to start to feel this what the team demand me, what they want to of me, and yeah, for sure I will give what the team needs sometime, probably soon.
That's a big shift to go from the European calendar to MLS calendar. What was something that was unexpected that you experienced that when you knew it was going to be difficult, but something that you said, "Wow, I didn't know that was going to be like that."
Yeah, I think that's the thing that it's been the most difficult because of course I had 2 months of summer, then I started there in Braga. I did 3-4 weeks of pre-season, and now you come here and everybody's in the middle of the season, no, middle or more. So everybody, in terms of physically, they are really good, and me, I'm preparing myself for all the season, no. So that's I think it's been the most difficult thing. Normally, physically, I don't have any problem. I think my numbers was good during the game, and yeah, of course, that's 3-4 weeks to take the top level, and yeah, then we'll see the best.
It was a main target for this club during the summer transfer window to get a number 9. And just having you there, your presence, just how do you anticipate once that that communication and those connections start forming, but just being able to connect with Carlos Vela, with Denis Bouanga, and what that will mean for this offense?
Yeah, everybody said me that when I arrived that we were looking for a striker, for a forward. Really striker in the box, no? Because I think we have another types of a striker, but it's not a really like a number 9. Now it's the moment that, like you said, to find solutions, to see how Denny play, how Carlos play, also Stipe, all the players that they are going to play close to me, and to find what they want and also what I need, and explain to them to find the best solution for the games and everything. That's but I have a lot of experience of this. I played already in a lot of countries. I never, all my life I played one season in all the clubs, so I am very habituated to new players, new way to play. So yeah, that's my job now, and I am trying to do as fast as possible.
You're used to adapting quickly to just new teams, new countries, and everything.
Yeah.
But you did all of that to arrive here, because now you're going to spend 10 years here and score 150 goals, and you're going to be great, Mario.
Yeah.
All right.
I hope the same.
About coming here, what was those things that said, I want to come here? I know you spoke about talking with John Thorrington and getting excited about LAC, but where were those moments that this is where I want to go?
Yeah, well, like I said in the first interview that I did, it was nice when my agent said me, okay, we have this opportunity. It was okay. We can examine everything. We can try it, because for me it was a good experience to arrive to United States. First of all, even more if it's Los Angeles. No, I think.
Yeah.
And also because I don't know why I had in the past some players that played with me in Villarreal, for example, that came here for the universities and all these things to study and to play football, and I had the opinion of them that was really good, and that was one of the things that I said, okay, it would be nice to try it. And yeah, finally we put it all in the contracts. Of course, it took 2-3 weeks around, but yeah, that's one of the things. And of course, they won the championship the last season, so that's it's one of the best teams right now. So it was a good chance for me.
How exciting is it to come to MLS in this moment in particular when the world is watching? We have Messi, Jordi Alba, Busi, and just the excitement all around.
I am following Messi every time.
So everyone's talking about. We mentioned that because everyone's talking about Messi. It's not just the fans and the us. It's the players.
No, I think it's a good moment. I think the competition is growing up a lot. So it's a good moment to come, and yeah, of course, the I don't know how to say in English, the attendance of the league is
say attendance.
The tendency going upwards,
is to grow up every time, each year it's better. So that's really good, and we are going to try to improve this. Me like a player and us like a team, no. We have to do our best to improve our team, our club, and also our league. That's the most important.
Great answer. We want to get to know you a little bit, so we're going to ask you some questions so you can just share with us. By the way, I want to start by your English is so good, but you mentioned all the clubs that you've played in. You never played in England or Scotland or the United. So how is your English so good?
Do you have to
speak in Belgium?
Say one thing.
Okay.
My English was really in the school. Really, I was always suspended. So that's one of the reasons that all my friends said, "Oh, it's unbelievable." Yeah, but yeah, when I started to
so
go
you
out,
got punished. You'd have to go learn English.
Yeah. But when I started to go out of Spain, the first experience was in France. I started now to see that if I don't speak languages, it's impossible to connect with the
How
people.
many languages do you know?
Now 4, but when I went out of Spain, really believe me, only Spanish.
So now Portuguese,
Quick learner.
Yeah.
French, English, and Spanish.
Yeah.
And in Belgium, you spoke English.
Yeah, they speak a lot.
You didn't want to tackle Flemish.
They have the Dutch. They have also French. Was good for me because I spoke before I arrived to Belgium, and also they have a good level of English. And yeah, the English I was improving a little bit during these 3 experiences out of Spain. So it's not the best level, I know. I have to improve a little bit, but yeah, of course. Other thing is that I don't have any problem to speak. I know that sometimes I say some things that it's not it's wrong. But if you are like timid, and I don't know, tímido, ¿cómo se dice?
Tímido.
Shy.
Yeah.
Shy, yeah.
If you are like this, you are not going to improve, so I have to try.
It's a lesson for all you out there.
Yeah.
Just go tackle those languages.
Go for it. Don't be up in your head and just go for it. Mario, you've lived in, as you mentioned, like different countries, different cities. Now being in America, being here in Los Angeles, what do you like to do, or what would you like to do during your free time? Get to know a little bit more about the city?
Yeah, for the moment, really, I didn't see too much. I have to say, I am doing all the things. First of all, the papers. Now I move it into my apartment, so I have to buy everything and all these things that you have to do when you entrance. And I didn't have too much time to enjoy and to visit some things. But the first days when I arrived, I was with my agent, and we went to some places, the Griffith, the Beverly Hills also, West Hollywood also. Pass it a little bit for everything. And yeah, it's really, really nice. I have to say, like, I am really surprised with the city.
You've never been here before? You've never been here before?
No. Never in the United States.
Okay.
It's the first time.
Okay.
So So yeah, I have to see a lot of things. For the moment, what I have seen, I like it a lot. Yeah.
The food?
The food is not the same like in Spain, we can say.
You guys, honestly, you guys have the best food.
Yeah.
I went to
Yeah.
Los Países Vascos and I ate the best.
Yeah.
So it's very good.
Yeah, it's not the same like in Spain, but yeah, for the moment, what I have proved here in the club, it's really nice.
You got to get him out. We'll
Yeah.
get him out a little bit.
We have to
Some
say
burgers,
congratulations
maybe.
to our
Cheat
chefs.
meal.
And yeah, when I have been there in Pasadena, in some restaurants, some places, and yeah, it was good also. Yeah.
Do you have siblings, brothers, sisters?
No, I'm
Only child.
only child. Yeah.
Okay, and when you were in school, that's when you started playing football?
Yeah. I started in the school. In the beginning, my father, he didn't want to leave me to play in some teams because it was too much job for him, for my mother. So I started in the school. It was easier for everybody. He saw that was good what I did. He said, okay, we can try it. And yeah, I started like this. My first club was my village, only one tournament, and then I signed for Burgos, my city. That's the start.
Should we visit Burgos? Is it nice?
Yeah, it's really nice.
And obviously the food's good.
Also the food, but it's a really nice city. Very cold, for sure. It's not like here, but
now.
it's a nice city with a lot of classic things. The cathedral is really good.
Old world.
The castle also, we have a good castle, so it's nice.
Do you have a nickname? I know on your shirt it says Mario G.
Yeah.
What did you like to be referred to as a player? Because I'm the broadcaster. I'd like to know how to refer. Is it Mario?
Everybody
Gonzalez?
me Mario, no?
Okay.
But my nickname, but a lot of people call me the Pistolero because of my celebration.
I saw highlights.
Yeah.
You do this.
Yes,
We'll see it
I was
soon in
about
LA.
to ask that. I'm like, just to make sure that the bio was correct, we wanted to ask about the pistolero. How did that start?
Yeah. I start. Well, that's a good experience, good adventure. It was one coaches in Villarreal. He played. He was one of the players that the youngest one in the league to how do you say, to debutar?
To debut.
Yeah. And he was also training with us, and he was doing every time this. So after one injury I had, I said, if I score, I'm going to do it. Your celebration. And
Oh, nice! It's a tribute.
And I scored. I did, and I said, after this moment, I'm going to try to continue with this. So that's why I am.
That's a great answer. Do you have a favorite player, a player that you idolize, or?
Not really.
Oh.
Really. No, I have been all my life supporter of Real Madrid, but I don't
Favorite
have
Real Madrid player? You love them. You love them all.
No, but all the people said me that in my life that my style is like Fernando Torres. It's what everybody said, and yeah, it's true that I have seen a lot of times here in Villa because it was the generation of Spain, the last generation,
and he played over here for a little bit.
Yeah. So
Villa.
but really I don't have any, like I can say it's my idol, no?
Yeah. But you have someone that kind of plays like you, Torres, so that's good.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite kind of goal? Header, left foot, right? Because I've seen you. We've seen the reels. You finished
Every what?
A favorite goal.
A
Type of goal.
I don't score amazing goals.
No.
Amazing.
Wait a minute.
I
YouTube says
score a lot,
differently.
but it's not really amazing. So
But he knows where to be, right time at the right moment.
yeah, but
to find the back of the net. That's
if
what
I have
matters.
to choose one, I don't know, one that I scored, for example, against Porto with the head was really good. One with Tenerife that I make like a chip. I don't know. But it's not really amazing. The goals.
Do you have like personal goals or objectives that you set for yourself every time you start at a new club? Like how many goals you want to score? Or
No, I don't
that?
I don't like to put a number because, like I have said a lot of times in my career, sometimes it's an objective, but sometimes it can be a limit also. Because if I said now 20, why I'm going to score 20 and not 25, if I can, no? So I want to score as much as possible, and that's all.
Mario, we're so glad you're here, and we really appreciate you making a lot of time for us here to get to know you a little better, because we look forward to get to know you better here, get to know you on the field as well, and be a big part of this club.
Thank you very much, and yeah, it was really nice to pass this time with you.
Oh, thank
Muchas
you.
gracias.
Muchas gracias.
Todo el
Muchas
éxito.
Hablaban un poquito de español. No francés, portugués.
Francés only with Denny.
Yeah, Danny. But you get to talk, you get to know.
It's good because now you guys can communicate.
Yeah, I can speak with him.
Okay. Inside LAFC podcast. Rate, review, download, subscribe, tell a friend. We will see you again on Sunday for the Colorado Rapids game. We'll be back next week with another great pod. I'd like to thank Mario and, of course, Katia. This is Max saying so long.